Hey guys, Tarke here, and today I'm going to talk about the new build I'm leveling. It is a explosive arrow ignite based Scion. Norse is doing a very good ignite based chieftain, and he's been like crazy farming Awakener with it. I happened to just load into his Twitch channel just as he's about to do a run, and you can see the damage is completely insane. So at the start of the league, I talked about an explosive arrow tree I wanted to try out, and I showed a few different options. And I said how I was going to go Ignite Trickster so I could test it out early and then be safe. Of course, he dies when I'm trying to show off how good the build is. Anyway, so I tried it off a little bit early, didn't really like it, and I thought, you know what, I'll just put it to the side. I'll go Caustic Arrow, I'll come back to it later maybe. I'll see what the consensus is. So he's just been playing it the whole league. He's been pushing it, and he's been getting it really nice. Now, Dan is also re-leveling a new character. He's going Explosive Arrow. I've spoken to a few people who've been doing Explosive Arrow, and there's a point at endgame where it just like pops off once you get the gear. There's a guy on YouTube I've been following. He's been doing a Scion version. He's built it very differently to how I originally planned it. But basically, it does big boy deeps. You can make it very tanky, and it's the old Explosive Arrow that we all missed that used to be so fun back in the day. It just has some time to kind of get going. So, let me show you the setup I'm going for. And this is with Norse's gear. I've just made like one or two slight changes. This is Norse's tree on his... So, this is his chieftain tree. And this was the setup that I planned, roughly. So you can see it's basically exactly the same. The only real difference is he's going Blood Magic, which is the right move. I don't know why I didn't think of that earlier. It makes a lot of sense. My plan was to go just normal mana base and then use Malevolence and like Skitterbots. By going Blood Magic, you miss out on Skitterbots, but you have no mana concerns. So the Scion guy I've been following on YouTube, he's gone for stacking a bunch of 50% auras, but he has to use a Mana Flask. Not the way you want to go. Mana Flask is scuffed, especially since Awakener, the new scary boss man, he has no ads during the fight. So you want a... Did I not save the build? Did I not save the build? Tarke, you complete idiot. Right, okay. Wow, that is brilliant. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. We can save it real quick. So, by going with a Blood Magic setup, you get to use Quillrain. Quillrain is a very good bow. Rise using Quillrain on his Explosive Ballista setup. And you have the advantage that you don't ever need to worry about any mana stuff, and you can do the fights all super easy. So why am I going Scion when a bunch of people have gone Chieftain, and Dan is going Chieftain, and Chieftain's really tanky, and Chieftain's really beefy, and Chieftain's clearly the way to go? The main issue that you have with a lot of these builds where they're like anything Chieftain related, Chieftain's always been a really well-rounded ascendancy since the last set of changes. It's got great damage, it's got great defense. It just doesn't have any zoom about it. It has no movement speed, it has no attack speed, and that can feel really sluggish. So the way that I solve that is by doing Scion, Pathfinder, Chieftain. Through Pathfinder, you get a little bit of movement speed, you get a little bit of attack speed. Most importantly, though, you get flask charge generation. This is very important when it comes to bosses where you don't have any ads, you can't sustain your flasks. Since you also get access to the flask stuff, it means that you can do more crazy setups if you want to push into deep delves, so on and so forth. Chieftain is solid. Chieftain's the way to go. If you just want to be thick, if you're playing in hardcore, just go for that. But if you want something which is a bit more well-rounded for like bossing and mapping, then I would definitely say that Scion is a very solid option. Another fairly obvious advantage of going Scion, Scions get more skill points to play with. Because you have more skill points to play with, you actually get to get all the nodes. And you're like, wow, Tarke, getting all the nodes, what a novel idea. I've never heard of that before. So the reason why getting loads of nodes is very important, accuracy. Accuracy is kind of scuffed. So on Norse's setup, I think he has like 80 something accuracy. Let's have a look. 90. He had less. Maybe he's changed some gear since I last looked at this setup. He's probably added accuracy on something somewhere. But anyway, you have less accuracy. Having less accuracy is still bad, man. Having more skill points lets you mess around with more stuff. Lets you do more stuff on the tree. If you look at the difference, I need to cover the enemy in Ash. Make him a boss. Yep. Is the enemy ignited? Yep. Endurance charges? Yep. Do we have a thingy anywhere? We have a combustion enabled. Brilliant. Okay, cool. So, you'll have way more than 5 fuses. You stack, like, all the fuses you can with as much attack speed as possible. That's why attack speed is really important. That's why you use the Quarine. And this is Norse's setup. I'm just going to add that point in there. So you've got level 96 tree, 163,000. Just using that as a board point number to work out where you're going. 8.9k life. Scion version, junk. 9.2k life, 136 compared to 163. It's less, obviously. But it's not so much less that you're like, oh, the build is bricked. You know what I mean? And you've got more points to play with. You've got more options. You've got a bit more zoom. So, yeah, basically, would you rather just be all the damages, all the defense, a bit more sluggish, or would you rather be a bit more fluid, have a bit more options, more skill points to play with, get the build rolling a bit faster? And Scion has more raw HP, but Chieftain has more mitigation against specifically physical damage. So against elemental and chaos damage, the Scion is tankier. Against physical damage, Chieftain is tankier. There's a lot of physical damage this league, but either way, you're still looking at like a lot of life. This is using a combs. Even without the combs, no chest piece, like 7.4k life. So, you know, yeah, kind of important. Again, this is purely a ignite-based setup. We're not using hit damage at all. The way that we're applying our elemental equilibrium, you don't want to have any flat fire damage on your attacks. If you have any flat fire damage on your attacks, you mess everything up. So you have either flat cold or flat lightning somewhere in your build. That means that when the arrow hits, they then get debuffed to fire. It explodes. And then you attack again, resetting it, and they take a massive ignite. So, yeah. You definitely want EE in these kind of builds. You definitely want Ellie Overload in these kind of builds. For your aura, you run Malevolence. Malevolence has some skill effect duration on there. It doesn't matter, it's very minor. We don't take skill effect duration anywhere else. Also, having a tiny bit of skill effect duration is actually good when it comes to single target, because it means you get to stack more arrows. For links, you have 2 explosive arrow setups. So if you don't have a combs, you could have 2 6 links, or you just weapon swap. So for your map clear setup, you want to have explosive arrow, ignite, prolift, burning damage, elemental damage with attacks, deadly ailments, GMP. If you're not running a combustion on a secondary support skill, take out elemental damage with attacks and put combustion there. And then for your single target setup, you use explosive arrow, deadly ailments, barrage, GMP, burning damage, elemental damage with attacks. If you can afford awakened gems, shove awakened gems in there. The reason why I use barrage instead of going for ignite, prolif, you're using this purely for single targets. You don't need to prolif to anything else. Barrage lets you stack more fuses. Stacking fuses, fast attack speed, gives you the most damage. That's what Norse has been doing. Spoke to him a little bit about it earlier. He's like, yeah, this is the way. This is the good vibes. In terms of unique items, Diaden Dawn is important because it gives you Ignite Reflect to deal damage 35% faster. Quill Rain is important. Devote's Devotion is quality of life. It's also a DPS increase through the attack speed, means you stack more fuses, but you could go for a crafted helmet. And Combs you don't need. Everything else can be rare. The Watcher's Eye isn't a DPS Watcher's Eye. Your ideal DPS Watcher's Eye would be increased damage over time multiplier while affected by Malevolence. That'd be a huge DPS increase. You don't need Wise Oak. That's there purely for defense. It doesn't buff the ignite damage. Things that you can craft to take the build to the next level. You want Hunter Gear. I've been trying to roll it. I've had no luck. On boots, you can roll Ignite Steel damage up to 10% faster. So you want to just like throw Scorched Fossils into your boots until you hit 30% movement speed, 10% faster ignite, life. That's it. So just craft away there. Then on quivers, there's a new mod, which is damage over time multiplier. But on hunter quivers, you can also get fire damage over time multiplier. Your perfect quiver will be a crit base to help proc Elite Overload with life, fire damage over time multiplier, damage over time multiplier, weapon elemental damage, attack speed. You're probably not going to get all of those mods, but if you can get like one damage over time multiplier mod, life, and then either like attack speed or wed, you're laughing to the bank. For jewelry, wed is great, otherwise go for life. Try and get one piece of gear with flat accuracy somewhere. You can get accuracy on your gloves, on your rings and amulets, on your helmet, and on your quiver. Obviously, if you're going for Devotos, then you can't get it there. Helm enchants don't matter, but if you were to go for a helm enchant, just go for damage, because that scales everything, or go for... Did they add an attack seed one? Just go for the damage one. And yeah, pretty straightforward. I'm going to be leveling this character as just Ignite Fireball, using 2 Ash Coolers. Once I get up to Elite Overload and the 2 Ignite Clusters, I will transition into Explosive Arrow fully. Probably early maps, because last time I tried to do an early transition to Explosive Arrow, it felt really bad. Don't level as Explosive Arrow. Leveling as Explosive Arrow will be a feels bad man. If you want to see the build in action, check out Norse's stream, twitch.tv/Norse. You can check out his profile. You can also, if you want to see Ballista setups, you could have watched some of Rise's streams. He's been playing a lot of it. He's been an SSF hardcore with very little gear, so it's been kind of scuffed. But, you know, he's been making it work for him. Anyway, I'm Tarke. I'm glad to be finally trying out Explosive Arrow. Caustic Arrow build was fine. It's just when I saw that Explosive Arrow was actually a thing that was working for people, I just really wanted to play it because I really wanted to play it. Anyway, have a good day. Bye-bye.